Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. And welcome to our webinar, wherein we'll showcase our unified eClinical platform and how it's driving efficiency in the clinical trials industry. My name is Pooja, and I'm delighted to be your host today. On behalf of the entire Cloudbyz team, we thank you for taking the time to join us today. Today, we'll explore how a unified eClinical platform is transforming clinical trial management by addressing the challenges in operations, data integration, and compliance. Through real-world case studies, we'll highlight how organizations like Austil Therapeutics, a leading CRO, a global sponsor, have leveraged our solutions to enhance efficiency and deliver life-changing therapies faster. Whether you are here as a clinical operations professional, data manager, or someone passionate about innovations in life sciences, this session is designed to inspire, inform, and empower you. Before we dive in, here are a few housekeeping items to ensure a smooth experience. This session is recorded and will be available on our website and sent via email to all the registrants. Your microphones are muted at the moment to minimize distractions, but we encourage you to engage with us through the Q&A section towards the end. If you encounter any technical issues, please feel free to notify us in the chat. We want this to be interactive as much as possible, so please submit your questions throughout the session. Our team will address them during the dedicated Q&A segment at the end. Our session today is structured as follows. We'll be covering an introduction to Cloudbyz and the unified eClinical platform. Then we'll cover the real-world case studies showcasing success stories from organizations that have adopted our solutions. Then we'll go into a live demo of the Cloudbyz eClinical platform, wherein we'll cover a couple of modules, and you'll see the innovation in action. And finally, a Q&A section to address your queries and discuss how these solutions can be tailored to your needs. Now, let me introduce to our speakers for today. Firstly, I have Corinne Cato, our account executive at Cloudbyz. Corinne brings hands-on experience in clinical trial operations and a deep understanding of eClinical technologies. She has worked closely with global trial sponsors and CROs, helping them leverage modern solutions to enhance trial efficiency and compliance. You can reach Corinne directly at corinne.cato@cloudbyz.com. Joining Corinne is Vedant Srivastav, our product manager, specializing in driving technological innovations in the healthcare and life sciences sectors. With a strong background in clinical trial operations and eClinical solutions, Vedant has collaborated with cross-functional teams to deliver impactful products and enhance trial outcomes. You can reach him directly at vedant.srivastav@cloudbyz.com. Their combined expertise ensure that you'll gain valuable insights into leveraging unified eClinical solutions effectively. So let's get started with Corinne, who will provide an overview of the Cloudbyz platform. But before that, let me take a moment to introduce you to Cloudbyz. Cloudbyz, a leading eClinical solutions provider, is one of the fastest growing unified clinical trial management solutions in the market, designed 100% on the Salesforce platform, offering a unique blend of scalability, modularity, and configurability to suit your specific business needs and processes. At Cloudbyz, we believe in empowering organizations of all sizes, from Fortune 500 companies to agile startups, to streamline their clinical trials, optimize operations, and accelerate the delivery of life-saving therapies. Our comprehensive suite of products covers the entire spectrum of clinical trial management, including the CTMS, a flagship product that facilitates seamless end-to-end project management for clinical trials, the CTBM, an essential tool for managing the financial aspects of clinical research, the ETMF, our robust document management solution ensuring compliance and efficient data handling, the EDC, our powerful data management platform, safety and pharmacovigilance that streamlines safety monitoring during and after clinical trials. We also pride ourselves on our innovation with the recent launch of our AI-powered platform, the clinicalwave.ai, featuring tools like ClinRedact, ClinExtract, and ClinDicom, which helps clinical trial users efficiently handle PHI and PII data across trial documents and DICOM images. Beyond our innovative solutions, Cloudbyz has been recognized in the Everest Group's matrix as a leading provider of e-clinical solutions, highlighting our commitment to excellence in innovation. Our product seamlessly integrates with existing systems, offering a unified workflow to ensure your clinical trial processes run smoothly and efficiently. Globally, we are present in 3 countries, with our headquarters in Chicago, USA, and regional offices in Toronto, Canada, and an offshore delivery center in Bengaluru, India, allowing us to support clients across different time zones. Our solutions are fully compliant with global safety regulations, including FDA 21 CFR Part 11, GCP, HIPAA, and more, ensuring quality and security in every aspect of clinical trial management. Proudly, ISO 9001 and 27001 certified, we continue to be recognized for our commitment to quality and security. We are also honored to have been featured among the top 5 emerging pharmacovigilance startups by Startup US and to be recognized by the Inc. 5000 as one of the fastest growing companies in America. For more information, you can visit our website, cloudbyz.com, or reach out to us at info@cloudbyz.com to book a personalized demo. We look forward to helping you bring life-saving therapies to market faster and improve patient lives worldwide. Now let me hand it over to Corinne to kick off today's discussion. Over to you, Corinne.
Thanks so much, Pooja. Appreciate it. And thanks for everyone joining, taking time out of their day. I know December can be a busy month, so it's really great that you're all here, and we appreciate your time for sure. So to start us off, we're going to talk about the Cloudbyz Unified eClinical platform. So we're expanding on those modules that Pooja already mentioned, but our CTMS, which is part of that planning and startup phase there, the CTMS, it includes features like the feasibility survey, so you can send out and analyze survey responses all in one place. There's the monitoring module to generate visit reports that also features a 21 CFR Part 11 compliant e-signature on that. There's checklist management, lots to leverage in the CTMS. So it can be used standalone, but the intention is that by leveraging all of the modules, you get a unified approach and a unified platform. The eTMF, those reports can be directly filed into the eTMF at the click of a button. The eTMF can leverage either a DIA folder structure, a custom one. It just depends on the study's requirements. So you're not stuck with one particular folder structure for your entire system. You can pick and choose what's applicable for you. And then the EDC has a great form library of templates that can be leveraged to be used over and over again, making building subsequent studies easier and faster. So it's going to save you a lot of time to import those templates, and templates are a huge part of our system. You can really go digital by leveraging the participant portal for capturing e-consents, as well as e-pros or e-diaries. So thinking of that aspect from the participant or the subject, they can access the portal through the required access there and the permissions. There's also an integrated randomization schema builder that can be leveraged in the EDC if that's required. It can accommodate various types of randomization. And then that trial supply management will allow for tracking of supplies at all times and making sure stock is always available. Then there is the safety and PV, kind of more towards that closeout aspect, specifically the PV for aftermarket. But really, that's going to support various dictionaries, WHO drug, MEDRA, medical coding, and it can generate different reports, again, at the click of a button, so super easy to use. Overall, the system has open APIs and can easily integrate with other third-party systems or even devices for real-time capture. So just wanted to go over some of the features at a high level of what we offer at Cloudbyz. Thanks, Pooja. Let's get to the next slide. So our first case study, we're going to be looking at 3. The first one is osteotherapeutics. So we'll get into that. Pooja, next slide, please. Thank you. They are headquartered in Dallas, Texas. They develop novel musculoskeletal therapeutics to treat orthopedic infections. They have 7 products in their pipeline. They conduct phase 1, phase 2 trials, and their lead candidate product, VTX7, has had successful phase 2 results in treating chronic bacterial prosthetic joint infection. So that's PJI. It affects 40,000 people a year. So they're really doing a lot of work over there to combat these orthopedic infections and their consequences. Next slide. So back in December of 2023, Osteal approached us looking for a solution to replace their current setup. Their current setup consisted of manual trackers, paper data collection, a separate EDC, a separate safety, a separate eTMF that they didn't feel was compliant. So all of these things, they had a lot of requirements and asks, and we were able to hear them out and get on a couple different calls just to understand how much they wanted to change their current setup. So that was really great. They wanted to have a user-friendly interface. They wanted workflows, automations to make that day-to-day easier on them and facilitating easier task management. And then they also wanted the ability to make changes to their org without the wait times that come along with relying on a vendor. They had the ability to build their own reports, as many reports as they would like. They had the ability to build as many studies as they would like, leveraging the ECRF and the form builder there. And then they were also juggling the subscription costs of having multiple vendors. So having a separate EDC, a separate safety. So that was becoming expensive, and they were looking for a cost-effective solution. So with that, the final need there and that final ask was just the fact that they would have to have that legacy data from their eTMF migrated. So those are all the asks of Osteal. I believe that we've been able to deliver that and more. As we got into it and kind of dug down deep, we determined that there was more that we could provide. So we'll get to the outcome. Awesome. Thanks, Pooja. So for Osteal, we delivered the full suite of modules. They got our CTMS, our CTBM, or that financial management, eTMF, EDC, and safety. And then they're also leveraging 2 portals. They have a site portal for their sites to enter data, as well as a vendor portal for their depot for the trial supply management. So, at a high level, they have a unified system that they're able to create aggregate reports to get that big picture across all departments for ultimately faster decision making. We migrated that legacy data from a system they felt was not compliant. Now they are audit or inspection ready at any given time, so that's great. With the CTMS, they have overall study management capabilities. They can create projections, track milestones, assign tasks, and more. And it's going to create, accountability and overall efficiency there. They have the integrated document management. So study documents created in the CTMS, like the delegation of authority log or a finalized monitoring report, can be uploaded from the CTMS directly to the eTMF at the click of a button. And then when coding their AEs, they opted for the WHO drug and the MEDRA dictionaries. So medical coding is set up there. And then, as I mentioned, through the vendor portal, the depot was able to access, data that's relevant to them for a real-time approach. And there's various workflows, automations that were put in place and built to ensure that the right parties are notified of these time-sensitive updates. With the CTBM, their system can create study and site budgets to help them track their financials and stay on track. The sites that they work with, as I said, they're accessing the platform via their respective site portal. So there's robust user profiles and permissions to allow for controlled access to the data. That randomization schema builder is available should their trial require it. They can choose to generate that randomization list in a system. And then ECRFs, we talked about the ECRF builder. They can build their own validation rules with actions like email notifications going out or auto queries being generated. So we were able to provide all of that in one system for them. Thanks, Pooja. So case study number 2, the next case study we have up is a global sponsor. We have the next 2 case studies that are blinded, but we can still give you information about, a little bit about them and what they opted for and what we were able to deliver. So they are in the pharmaceutical space. They offer a vast portfolio of products and services like active pharmaceutical ingredients or APIs, generics, and over-the-counters. They operate in the US, Russia, India, China, Brazil, Europe, and CIS countries. So multinational pharmaceutical company. They run hundreds of clinical trials and decided that they needed a more unified approach. So let's go on to the ask and what they were struggling with. So like most, they were struggling with a manual and disjointed process. We kind of talked about that with Osteal, having various solutions to log into and that data being super siloed. So there was a lack of collaboration with key stakeholders as a result. Compliance risks were increased. So an overall slow time to market and high operational costs as well as a result of all that. So just some challenges faced by this customer as well. This is pretty common when we get into a discovery call with prospects and they're kind of just explaining what they're looking to fix in their landscape. Next slide. We provided them with a unified approach as well. We set them up with a CTMS, a CTBM, eTMF, EEC, safety. They opted for the CRO portal as well as a site portal. So these portals, they address their collaboration needs. There's templates throughout the system to streamline efficiency, thinking monitor report templates, ECRF templates, budget templates, the DIA or the custom folder structure template. So lots of templates there. And they're now benefiting from, a unified approach to one login, lowered operational costs and things like that. Pooja, next slide. I believe we have those benefits kind of outlined a little bit more. Yeah, so as I said, they benefit from end-to-end trial management. There's rapid study build and deployment. They're always inspection ready. And there is access to real-time data for those who need it for faster decision-making overall. So they have a one-stop solution to manage their trials. Next slide. The third and final case study, a leading CRO here, global as well. Their focus is on oncology, neurology, infectious diseases as well. They're part of a larger healthcare group and they operate across Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. So they're a CRO, a little bit of a different aspect here as opposed to the last 2 that we looked at, but still relevant in terms of what their requirements were. Next slide. So as a CRO, they have a lot of moving parts. Their overall resource utilization, they deemed it was inefficient. So this resulted in high costs, operational inefficiencies, and they also needed assistance in managing the trial oversight and the huge amounts of data from each trial, from each sponsor. So as a solution, we built them again, a unified system that consisted of similar modules here, CTMS, CTBM, eTMF, EDC, safety, and this one's a little bit different here. They opted to leverage our patient recruitment module as well. So now that they have a centralized view of all trials across the various areas and departments, it really streamlined their operations and recruitment. It improved data and document management, reduced their operational costs by optimizing that resource allocation, and all key stakeholders have access to the data that they need. So really key benefits. We saw a lot of similarities in terms of the challenges that are being faced by some of our customers who come to us, a lot of similarities with the benefits of what they're all getting at the end by opting for that unified clinical trial management system. I'll hand it off to Vade, who is going to take a look at the system for us just at a high level. I appreciate everybody's attentiveness just while we went through those case studies and a little bit about Cloudbyz. So over to you, Vade.
Thanks, Corinne. That was truly some great real-world use cases showcasing the true power of unified e-clinical solution. Hey, everyone. My name is Ved, as Pooja introduced. Thanks for joining us. It's really a pleasure to demo the solution. Now, I'll be honest, capturing the depth and breadth of these powerhouse modules in just 25 minutes or 30 minutes is not a small feat. But that being said, I'll try my best to give you guys a clear picture and show how all the pieces fit together and the value they deliver. Here's the game plan for today. We'll kick things off with a clinical trial management system demo, which is CTMS. From there, we'll take a brief look at eTMF, a cornerstone for document management and compliance. Next, we'll explore one of our collaboration portal, which is a site portal. And then finally, we'll swing back to have a quick view of EDC and safety. I'm going to share my screen. Thanks, Noel. Right, I hope you can see my screen. If anyone can make any noise, that's just gives me an idea that you can see my screen. Okay, thank you. So let's start with CTMS. So our clinical trial management solution is natively built on the Salesforce platform. Cloudbyz CTMS helps you manage all parts of your clinical trial, from planning and startup to conduct and closeout. It gives you real-time visibility and insights into your study at every step. The first thing when you open the solution or the system is the app launcher on the top left. Now, app launcher is the place where you can easily switch between different applications. Now, I'm in CTMS right now, but I can easily switch to an EDC. I can look for eTMF and find Cloudbyz eTMF. This is one of the ways of our unified platform and how it keeps everything connected and simple to navigate. The system has an open-ended API, which means it can connect to any other systems you might already use. We have done many integrations and data migrations to ensure smooth operations for our customers. And here's an important point. Any and all the data in the system is searchable, indexed, and fully reportable. Now let's take a look at the home screen, which you have right now. Here you'll find the main dashboard, which provides a high-level view of your studies. For example, as a director of clinical operations, you can monitor real-time study progress and key metrics that are critical to your role. Now, these metrics and reports that you see here are fully configurable, allowing you to customize the dashboard to your specific needs and your role, which means someone else logging in could see a different dashboard made of different metrics, which is relevant to their role. You can even subscribe to the dashboard and receive automated emails updated at frequency of your choice. At the top of the interface, you will see the navigation bar, which includes tabs like accounts, contact, clinical studies, sites, and more, which is key to a clinical trial. Above that, you would see a global search feature, which allows you to search all the data points, including records, eTMF documents, EDC form, studies, safety submissions, pretty much anything you're looking for. Now, before we dive into a study-specific view, I want to take you guys to look at portfolio-level analytics through CRM Analytics dashboard. Now, this is an interactive dashboard which provides insight at the portfolio level, allowing you to track study progress, startup activities, finances, and budget, etc. It's a powerful tool for monitoring the overall health of your clinical portfolio. Again, these reports are interactive, so you can choose, let's say, phase 2 and see the reports switch as per the phases that you select. Let's get back to our CTMS. I'm going to go to the clinical study tab right now. Now, what you see is clinical study and all the studies segregated by its therapeutic area in a Kanban view. This is just one example of how you can configure the system as per your needs. You can arrange it in any way you can imagine. Let's go into a specific study. Now, when you head into a study, the first thing you will notice is the study status color path, which gives you a clear snapshot of where the study stands right now. On the detail page, you would see all the relevant information of your study coming directly from your protocol. You can also use our AI solution, Clin Extract, where you can upload your protocol document and the system will automatically populate the relevant data fields. Now, all the important parts of the study are organized in a subtab, such as planning, startup, projections, clinical sites, monitoring, etc. Let's move to planning. Under the planning subtab, you would see things like milestones and tasks, which are auto-populated from a predefined project template. And here's some of the examples of the template. Now, template could be, let's say, a template for phase 1 or a particular template for a therapeutic area. Now, milestones are broken down into tasks. And as the tasks are completed, it rolls up to complete the milestones as well. You can define start date, end date, assign these milestones and tasks to users, and much more. Now, this feature can be replicated across multiple studies, saving hours of manual work. Now, as I scroll down, you can track other planning details such as assigned team members, regulatory submissions, IRB approvals, protocol versions, and more. We also provide a functionality for visit plan. Now, visit plan feature lets you define schedule of events, which can then be used for both EDC and budgeting purposes. And the visit plan table would look exactly it looks like in your protocol. Here's an example. Back to our CTMS. Moving to the startup phase, you can do the entire feasibility survey process from the system itself. So basically, you can create and send out templatized feasibility survey. I'm just going to click on plus button quickly, and send templatized email as well, and also allow sites to respond. And then you can actually review the responses directly in the system, and in the end, determine the feasibility of the site. You can also track the study startup documents, which can then be filed into the eTMF. Let's quickly look at the projections. You can actually compare the projected versus actual site and patient enrollment numbers. You can even drill down to a region-specific projections such as US, Europe, etc. Under clinical sites, you can track all the active sites for the study along with their detailed information. We'll come back to this in a bit. The last thing I want to take you guys through in the study is financials. Now, we have a comprehensive clinical trial financial management system. This is a template-driven solution template-driven solution for managing study and site budgets, as well as tracking invoices and payments. Now, it offers real-time visibility into cost, as well as all the site-level budget rolling up to the study-level budget, so you have the sanctity intact. You can manage receivables, payments, invoices, contracts, making it a comprehensive clinical trial financial management tool. Here's an example of a site budget where you can define multiple buckets, as you see right here, and you can define the cost based on subjects, visits. Again, this is template driven, so this doesn't have to be repeated every time there's a new study. Let's move to clinical sites. So when you open a clinical site, you will land on the clinical site page, which is very similar to the user experience of a clinical study, but it's now customized for site information. Now, when I scroll down, you can track all the key details about the site, and you can also track all the essential site information as well. As I mentioned, the system is highly configurable, so you can add any specific detail you want to track for each site. You can monitor key metrics such as planned versus actual date for the first patient visit, planned versus actual number of screened patients, and things like percentage of document checklist that has been completed. Now, some of this data is being pulled directly from our Cloudbyz EDC or Cloudbyz eTMF, and thanks to the unified platform enabling the seamless sharing of data. Now, just just an information that this would normally be a painful process when multiple different systems or platforms are involved. This data, which has been collected, can be used in reports to establish performance metrics for this site, which can be used to guide future site selections. I'm going to scroll up. So looking at the site startup, you can also track site startup information, such as site team members assigned to the study, and as well as site responsibility or study responsibility. Now you also have site level milestones and tasks, as well as the essential document required for the startup. One of the powerful features of our unified system is the ability to file these documents directly into the eTMF as soon as it's collected. As Corey mentioned, this was the major requirements of our clients in the use cases that we showed. So here the essential documents are already collected, and you can see the eTMF link, folder link right here. Now I can click on any of the link and you'll seamlessly switch to the eTMF module. Let's say if there's a QC process, you can do the QC and then move this document to the desired folders within the eTMF. Here's an example of this eTMF document. You can also click on this eTMF tab and land to the eTMF as well. Now you also see the folder structure, and then you can just navigate the eTMF solution itself right from here. Returning to CTMS is just as easy. I'm just going to go back, and I'm back to the CTMS. Scroll up. We also offer monitoring module designed to manage end-to-end monitoring visit, including SQVs, SIVs, IMVs, and COVs, providing complete oversight from start to finish. You can also track all the subject-related data, subject statuses and details, eCRS statuses, whether they're coming in from Cloudbyz EDC or any external connected EDC. You can also track site-level budget and invoices, and I did show you an example of the site budget just when I was covering the financials part. And also the system allows you to track all the protocol deviations and adverse event that happen at this site. And as you can see, this ensures your trial stays compliant, patient safety is maintained, and integrity of your trial is preserved. Okay, let's talk about portals. We understand how important it is in real-time collaboration with stakeholders like sponsors, CROs, sites, patient. Now, you could be a sponsor in this case and would like to collaborate actively with CROs and site. To enable this, Cloudbyz provides dedicated portals, including investigator portals, CRO portals, subject portal, vendor portal, etc. Let's look at a site portal. This portal is designed to streamline site activities. Sites can log in and report protocol deviations, upload and manage regulatory documents using ESF Binder, as you can see on the top as trial doc management. They can access the study information. Again, this is controlled by you as a sponsor, or if you are a CRO, you control what the site would see and interact with. They can submit invoices, track payment statuses, among other tasks. And they can also use it to manage subject and enter data, which is the next part of our demo. The investigator portal is a key part of our EDC process as well. Sites can use it to manage subjects and enter data, which then seamlessly flows into the EDC system. Let's take a perspective of a study coordinator responsible for subject management and data entry. The system allows coordinators to view subject statuses and data statuses at a glance. Right now, I'm seeing all the subject statuses, and I can just toggle to a data status. And the statuses is now updated to show me the data status of the study. Now, the coordinator can also switch between different views. This is the list view of the subjects that you see, but we also have an option of a tree view or a matrix view. Sorry, this is a tree view. We also have an option of a list view and matrix view. Apologies. For each subject, coordinator can track visits, forms, and ECOAs. Expanding a visit, we can see all the visit details. And when I expand a certain visit, you can see all the subsequent CRFs. Now it shows the requirement assessment, including the pending ones marked as new in the red sign right here. Now let's try and fill in something called vital signs. So the ECRFs that we build can include functions like parenting. So let's say were the vital signs completed, as soon as I select yes, the next set of questions pop up. And also preset edit checks. For example, in this case of diastolic blood pressure, if I throw a number, which is let's say 320, the system will prompt a message saying the value entered is outside of the expected range. So it can allow to catch errors in the real time if the incorrect values are entered. Now we can bypass this. System has an option as well, but this is an example of how the edit checks comes into the picture. Now, once the data entry is complete, the coordinator saves the data and can move on to the next step. I do have a visit vital signs data already completed right here and saved, which means I can move on to my next forms. The portal also supports file uploads, including DICOM files using our AI solution, ClinRedactor, ClinDICOM. PII informations can be automatically redacted at the CRO and the sponsor end, ensuring compliance and privacy. Now we're going to switch to personas again. I have entered my internal EDC, and now I act as a data manager. Here, I can review the data that was just filled in by the coordinator. I would get an alert right in the bell icon here, or I can get an email as well that the form is complete. Now, as I scroll down, I would see the subject visit, for the subject for whom the data was completed. I would expand the visit, and I would see the vital signs and would see a purple color check sign which says the data entry is complete. Now on the right, I can come in and review the data and source data verify. If I spot any issues, I can always raise a query. We have a query option as well. And as soon as we add a query, it will be sent back for this resolution. And once the data is reviewed, let me close this. Once the data is reviewed, it is soft logged, and the principal investigator at the site can electronically sign it off. And that's provided by a system. Our signature module, as Pooja did mention in the early slides, is 21 CFR Part 11 compliant. Now I'm going to take a step back. And you guys would be anyway wondering, how do we actually build these forms that we just looked at? So I'd like to focus on how robust and user-friendly our platform is for setting up a study, and how our system simplifies complex form building processes. Now, we understand each study is unique, and the system can help in customizing each study setup to match its specific unique protocol requirements. Now, I'm showing you guys a clinical study page, and here you see something called study setup. Each study has its unique study setup or study build customized as to its protocol. As I click on the study setup, I can now set site parameters, subject parameters, visit parameters, form and data review parameters, pretty much anything which is unique to this study. The different statuses, different permissions, different data statuses, subject statuses, very comprehensive. It can be as complex as you need. It can be as simple as you want it to be. Now let's take a quick look at the ECRF form builder or form builder, which is built to make creation of complex forms like ECRFs and e-consent easier. You can either build a form from the scratch or import it from the pre-populated library. Now, forms library is a very powerful functionality where there are already a list of forms that are built in that can be used as a template for multiple studies. As you can see, we have multiple types of forms that we have already built, and we actually work with you as we implement this ADC to build these template forms. So when you're actually building a form for a study, you can simply import it, which I'm going to show you next, and just make some tweaks that you need to for the study. Back to the form building. Let me go back. Yeah, back to the ECRF builder. As I mentioned, I have an option of importing the forms from the forms library. I'm going to import the forms called vital signs, which we were just filling in. I have an option of selecting which sections I want to import. I can import all of them, or if your study does not need height and weight, you can skip it. In this case, I'm just going to import all the sections. So the import is processing. It sometimes takes a few seconds. There you go. I see the vital signs popping up. And all the sections that I selected popped up as well. Now, to emulate the real-world CRF, the form builder is user-friendly and completely no-code, by the way, where you can add sections. This is one of the sections called vital signs. You can add a field, and you can add up to 25 plus field types. It can be a lot of things. It can be a radio, file upload, signature, content card, pre-populate. You can see the amount of options we have. In fact, the responses could also be coming in from a template, or you can choose your custom responses. So we have a standard response set, which has a lot of templatized responses, or you can build your own custom responses if needed. You can also configure settings or functions for each field. In this case, I have determined that this field is required, which has to be filled in. It cannot be skipped. If one of the values are changed, we have to track the reason for change. There are successive fields as well. It does not require an STV and data review, but if it was, I can select those as well. If it was an adverse event form, which we're going to look at in a bit, we can also enable event coding and product coding, which can happen from the EDC end itself. We can define data variables. We can define rules. I'm just going to quickly select the rules option, where now we can start setting up the rules as well. As you can see, all of this is no code. So the example that we saw where blood pressure was out of the range, that was set up from this rule builder, which also is templatized, by the way. Once this form is saved, it can be activated. Now, this form can also be saved as a template now and reused across multiple studies or next phases of the study. Let's switch our focus back to the study. We offer a robust randomization module capable of handling complex randomization protocols. Now, this feature supports fast and accurate subject randomization based on the protocol design. Randomization can be performed at the study level or at the site level. The module supports multiple randomization types, including simple, block, stratified, etc. For example, if I select a stratified block randomization, the system lets me configure the study arms, the block sizes, allocation ratio, stratification factors, which could be like age or gender, etc. Well, something unusual happened, and a subject reports an adverse event during the trial. Reports say the person was experiencing arrhythmia. Switching back to our investigator portal, which is right here, I can come to the subject where adverse event was reported and use the CDISC AE form that we set up earlier to capture all the details of the adverse event. Now, as soon as we got to know that the subject did experience an adverse event, I'm going to come in, expand the forms, click on CDISC, and add a record. Now, here is where we'll capture all the information about this adverse event or serious adverse event. So, as I mentioned, I believe this person has arrhythmia. I'm sorry. The adverse event start date can be defined. Is the adverse event ongoing? A lot of details we can capture. Was this a serious adverse event? Was this an SAE? If I mentioned yes, there's going to be further fields which is going to come in. Was this a death? Was this life-threatening? So based on your selection, your adverse event form will pop up the right fields that you need to capture. Now, I've already captured a couple of adverse events for this demo, but as soon as I save, this form is officially recorded, and now this will be visible in our safety system, just right here. Before I talk about the safety system, let's take a moment to reflect on one of the biggest strengths of unified platform, which is its ability to make the critical information like this available in real time. In rare scenarios, having this data, such as a serious adverse event, which could be life-threatening, can be a lifesaver for other patients, especially identifying and managing a serious adverse event in the industry to ensure patient safety and regulatory compliance is often make or break for trials. So as soon as an adverse event is reported in the EDC, as we saw, it's reflected real time into the Cloudbyz safety application. Again, this is the same platform. You are in the same system. It's just you are now looking at the drug safety. From the safety side, we provide multiple options such as drug safety, device safety. For post-market, we have pharmacovigilance, etc. Now, you also see different reports on your homepage now because the person who's logged in is from the safety team. Let's look at the adverse event that came in. This is the adverse event arrhythmia that came in, which was captured at the EDC end. Now, just another thought, the real-time data exchange like this is a major challenge right now when multiple systems are present. And hence, our case at Cloudbyz to have a unified system makes a lot of sense, right? So let's look at the adverse event right here, which was captured from the EDC. All this information, which is in the EDC, can automatically be moved over to the safety system again in real time. As I scroll down, all the studies, product, all of that is captured automatically. The event coding can be done at the EDC end. Some of our customers prefer that, or it can also be done in the safety system. I'm going to show you medical coding functionality in a bit. If the event was marked SAE, which is serious adverse event, the urgency for submissions and notifications are prompted by the system accordingly, which means if it's serious, the timelines are lesser, sometimes 24 hours, 48 hours, and the system will automatically prompt notifications in that manner. Versus if it's not serious, maybe there's some more time to submit. So now you can track the processing of this adverse event. There are tasks which are captured for this adverse event. Source document checklist, which has all the source information, which can be downloaded and can be used as a packet for submissions. Queries, as a medical reviewer, you might have some queries on this adverse event. So that can be posted as well. Narrative is a painful process, as we have heard from our customers. And with our template-driven approach, we make it very efficient. With just a click, we select the narrative template. Oh, sorry, I selected the wrong one. With just a click, we select a narrative template, and the narrative is populated in seconds, if not a minute. The narrative is drafted based on the key information that we saw in the details page and the reporter information, maybe the patient information as well, or the subject information as well. All of that is accumulated and posted as a narrative, which can be edited, whoever is writing the narrative. And then we can also look at assessment, event assessment, drug assessment and event analysis as well to determine the causality and have a medical reviewer comment as well. So this is an example of event analysis where a medical reviewer could just see this, and then they can see the narrative which was written and provide their specific comments. Now, our system, our Cloudbyz safety system also supports submissions. So there are multiple ways to do it. We have an auto submission rule as well, where you can set automated submissions. In this case, for example, I have a submission name Advil FDA 7 days, which means for the product Advil, the submissions will have to go to FDA. And the system has to run every 7 days to find out if there are any new submissions, any new events that has to be submitted to the FDA. Now, the platform supports all of these regulatory forms, so E2B-R2, COMS, MedWatch, MDCG, EMDR, etc. Once the generate reports right from here, or you can also just go in and find it in the studies as well, let's say in case of MDCG. So our system, as I did speak about it in a brief, but this is obviously doing clinical trials, but our system also supports post-market adverse event tracking through Cloudbyz PV solutions. Now, in that case, the cases can come in from multiple sources, including health record, literature monitoring. We can integrate with those sources seamlessly. And then it has its own set of workflows itself. And similar for the drug device safety, which can have its own set of workflows and items that needs to be done to process it. Medical coding. So I did talk about it that this could be done at an EDC end as well, or this could be done in case of pharmacovigilance. This is done at our PV system. So our platform supports robust medical coding capabilities. This is an example of a MedRA library. So all I need to do is, let's say I write a term called fever, and automatically matches the LLD, PT, and SOC terms. But if I'm not satisfied that this is what I'm looking for, I can always expand this into this tree and see all the terms which is matching the term called fever. Pretty exciting. Okay, finally, I would like to come back to the portfolio level tracking or portfolio level dashboard. I know I just spent like a few seconds on it. So since we have a bit of time, the portfolio level tracking is very powerful. We looked at the study management. Now, let's say you want to see the metrics as per the phase 1. You can just select those section, and then it automatically populates the phase 1 reports. You can track the study startup reports as well, the IRB approval time, and then there are filters. So you can filter it by study. You can add a site filter as well, so you can filter it by site. So very powerful tool. You can track all the finances, the budget, paid, planned versus accrued, cumulative planned budget, cumulative paid amount, paid versus accrued amount. Again, this is very powerful tool in terms of financial tracking as well. You can do a site monitoring, so all the SAEs, PDs captured. Again, this has a study and a site filter as well. So you can actually filter it out by study and site for seeing the specific metrics. Site performance metrics can be tracked, HCP training versus GCP, subject enrolled per site, etc. And then subject management and AEPDs can also be tracked. Again, this is an example. So if in your mind you have a different set of metrics, a different set of items you need to track, by all means, we can set it up. Okay, so this concludes this highly brief demo. But let me emphasize on this thing. What you have seen today barely scratches the surface of the actual surface, and its full potential goes far beyond what we could showcase in this short time. Obviously, each of the system, you will understand this, takes an hour to demo. So showing all these 4 systems was very high level, but if today's demo piqued your interest in any way, and you did like a deeper discussion, we would love to connect with you one-on-one and provide you with a detailed, tailored demo to your use case. With that, let's open the floor to any questions, Corey.
Yep, so I answered Virginia and Vanessa's question. So thanks for those questions from the two of you. Pooja also mentioned she got 2 questions on her end. So the first being, do you support targeted SDV? This is a new term that I've heard about and learned. It's not just SDV anymore; it's targeted SDV. So pinpointing exactly which of those data points, those critical data points that are actually going to need source data verification as opposed to maybe the entire form or the entire subject record. So that is supported at a build level. When you're building those eCRFs, you can select which fields you would like to have SDV completed on. So that is definitely supported. And then the second question, does your e-consent support assent? So yeah, great question there. Clinical research isn't just done on adults. There are children involved sometimes. So we can definitely support the assent signature and review with our e-consent in the participant portal. So that's, yeah, I don't think there's any other questions.
Corinne, we have 3 more questions in the Q&A box from Lana. So first one was, can I install Cloudbyz in my Trailhead sandbox?
Actually, it's a managed package, so you can reach out to us. We have a trial option for 2 weeks. So by all means, no obligations, we can set up the trial for you, and you can start using the system for 2 weeks.
Okay, awesome. Next one was, do you have to have Tableau license for Analytics Studio?
Great question. And yes, so Salesforce does provide a separate CRM Analytics Tableau licenses, and that has to be there for the portfolio level tracking. However, the first reports that we saw, or the reports that we saw at CTMS or PV side, does not need a separate licenses. So that's very powerful as well. And those are given from the system itself.
Okay. Next question is, what type of license do you have to assign for external users for site access for coordinators to perform their steps?
So we have portal licenses, which is called community portal licenses, or in more technical terms, it's CCP Plus and CCP licenses. Those licenses are a fraction of the cost of what an internal licenses would be. And that being said, our study-based pricing anyway covers these licenses. Yeah.
Okay. And then the last one, how much customization can an admin do if this is installed? Would I have access to the package to add objects?
Customize. So you can add the field, you can add the object. There are some code level changes that you of course cannot do because it's a managed package, but adding a field, adding objects, adding validations, duplication
Workflows, yeah.
Workflows, that could be done. And we actually train your team to take care of some of the admin stuff as well. I mean, we can do it too, but if you want to do it, we actually train your team to take care of those items too.
All right. And then the last question, do you have roles pre-built in your app?
Yes. So we have to customize some of the rules as per your workflow and how your business functions. But we do come with some out-of-the-box notifications and etc. That are built in. Yes.
Awesome. I've covered most of the questions that just came in. Yeah, there's just one more. Do some of the different objects like safety, etc., are correlated?
Yes. So all the objects are in the same instance. So what you saw at CTMS side, an adverse event subtab, it's the same adverse event tab that I was showing you towards the end in the safety system. So all of this is interlinked. These are not separate objects. These are actually referenced in in different systems within the same platform. Makes sense.
Okay. We still have 2 minutes to go. If there are any more questions, our speakers can take that up.
Thank you, Joy, for mentioning it's a good session. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, we have another one. Can different versions of codes be used for different trials?
Oh, so Lana is asking, is this a sales or service cloud? So actually, Lana is managed package. I can actually explain to you in a separate call how this works, but this is, you don't have to have a sales cloud or a service cloud, or in the matter of fact, any Salesforce cloud to use this. Everything is covered in our pricing. So no other hardships of procuring any of the systems is required.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah, the next question is, yes, thanks so much, Ved. We have one more question. Can different versions of, for example, Medra codes be used for different trials?
Yes, that's a good question. Have to go and find out, but I'm pretty sure there is a way. I can already think of some ways to do it, but great question. I can find it out and come back to you.
Okay, so this was from Matthias. Now I have another question from Lana. I just need to know if I could build more service features. This is just a follow-up of that question she asked on.
Lana, we have to kind of understand what you're looking out for. To be honest, some customers do use it for multiple purposes, and we actually install our package in their existing Salesforce instance as well. So if they're using commercial, they can also use ClinOps side using Cloudbyz CTMS. Oh, sorry, Cloudbyz eClinical solution. So I would suggest let's connect and understand what you're looking out for, and then we can suggest a way to do it.
Awesome. Yes, so we have another question. If the recording would be available, yes, the recording would be sent to all to your emails, and a copy of it would be available on our website. Also, like if you would want to have like a follow-up session to this webinar, say today, for maybe like if you want to connect with our speakers for 15 minutes more, you could always reach out to us, or you can email me at pooja.sood@cloudbyz.com, and I can set you up with our speakers for a 50-minute catch-up today. Thank all of you for joining us today and engaging with us so actively. The case studies and demo we have shared reflect our commitment to helping organizations like yours streamline clinical trials and deliver therapies faster. Once again, if you would like to dive deeper, we encourage you to reach out to us or book a personalized demo on our website. Let's continue this conversation and explore how Cloudbyz can empower your clinical research. Thank you so much, all. We'll stay connected and we'll see you next month.